guys, my name is Nonkululeko Khatebe. My student number is 21 64 77 30, and today I'm going to present to you the brain structure. The brain structure is enormous. It contains many structures involved in it in order for it to function, like I have included in my brain structure model. And then we have the cerebellum. The cerebellum is divided into two halves by the biggest fiber called the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum divides the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. And these hemispheres, the right hemisphere controls the left hemisphere's field, and then the left hemisphere controls the right hemisphere's field. In other words, it's the vice versa. And then both these hemispheres, they work together. They communicate together. It cannot function alone. And then, like I said, the brain structure is enormous. As you can see in my model, we have the parietal lobe. This is my parietal lobe. This is just my parietal lobe, as I have indicated. The parietal lobe is responsible for language and touch. Like if somebody touches you, the sensory neurons react to that touch and you realize that you have been touched. And then we have the occipital lobe. This is my occipital lobe. The occipital lobe is responsible for sight. In order for you to see things, recognize people, see your family, your friends, is because of the occipital lobe. And then we have the cerebellum. This is my cerebellum. The cerebellum is responsible for balance and coordination. And then we have this elongated tissue here. This elongated tissue, we call it the brainstem. This is the brainstem, which has critical functions. It is responsible for breathing, heart rate, temperature, and digestion. And then we have the temporal lobe. This is my temporal lobe. The temporal lobe is responsible for hearing, like when you're just listening to music or hearing someone speaking. And learning, also feelings. This is the temporal lobe. Then we go on. We have the frontal lobe. This is my frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is responsible for thinking, memory, behavior, and movement. And then, like I said, that the brain structure is enormous before in this video, guys. Like I meant it, it is really enormous. Between the occipital lobe and the cerebellum, we have something called the Wernicke's area. It is just here. It is responsible for the comprehensive language. And then between the temporal lobe and the frontal lobe here, we have the Broca's area, which is responsible for the production of weights. And then today I'm going to discuss also the process that took place when creating this beautiful brain structure model. As you can see, guys, In my beautiful structure, I have used clay with different colors. I have purple, yellow, green, and red. And my brainstem. And then I went to the shop and I bought sweets, the all sorts sweets, to make my structure to be more creative. And then during this process, I have learned that we have many different structures, and some other parts I did not know about it, but some I'm familiar with because we're doing them in grade 12. Like the brainstem, which is responsible for breathing, heart rates, and temperature, also digestion. I didn't know it had such critical functions. And then lastly, it is personally, I have come to conclusion that my occipital lobe is not functioning properly because I have a syndrome called long-sightedness. I cannot see things that are further away from me. So I have realized that maybe my occipital lobe has been somehow damaged. And then I have two questions that I keep on asking myself every day. That is my long-term memory working because I forgot things faster? And what causes the brain to function slowly? Because I've seen many people, other brains functions faster than others, they function slowly. Although the brain is the same, but we have different genetics. I think that might be the cause, but I don't have an answer yet. And during this whole process, the most interesting part that I found interesting is that learning and studying strengthen the muscles. At first, I didn't believe that, and I have tried that by extending my schedule of learning and adding more hours. And after that, I think my brain is now stronger than before. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for taking your time and watching my video.